Hi guys, I'm Lisa,
And I'm Angela.
and we're One of a Kind Milwaukee.
All right, today we are coming to you with a charity spotlight. I feel like it's been a minute, but I feel like this is a really great one. It's pretty personal to both of us. So it is Miles for Migraine, the Wisconsin Walk, which is coming up August 10th. It's a Saturday at Hart Park. And you want to share a little more?
Yeah, so the walk, it is not just a walk, it's a walk, a run, or a relax. It's their third time doing it in our area. And so it's a 2-mile walk for those choosing to do the walk. We've signed up, I think formally our team is for like the walk, but you can choose any of the ways to join our team, the One of a Kind Milwaukee team for this. And then it's a 5K run or a relax. So they actually have like a tent set up. You can just relax because obviously if you are someone that suffers from migraine, you know that something like a run or walk isn't something that you can necessarily take part in, or if it's a day that you woke up with one, it's not going to be, something that's going to be enjoyable for you. So it's really nice that they have that feature and that they're aware of their audience that's going to be taking part. And it's to really raise awareness for migraine and headache sufferers, and to bring awareness for treatment research. And it not only raises funds for the overall of Miles for Migraine, but also you can choose like at your checkout it's free to do, but like for your fundraising efforts, you can also choose to raise funds for the Medical College of Wisconsin and our headache center that we have here, which is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like people are kind of split on either like migraines are a horrible thing that they suffer with all the time, or like they're like, oh, I've never had a migraine. That doesn't sound like fun. And those people, I have to just walk away sometimes because I'm like, no, it's not fun. So not fun.
Yeah, it's an unseen illness, you can't really see it for the most part, depending on like symptoms and stuff like that. And there's one of the programs that they offer, and I know more about it because I actually participated they did like a educational program. So that's a part of like the funding that they do, and it was completely free to go to back in early spring at the medical college. And one of the sessions was like advocacy for yourself, like not only like with like your provider, but like just general, like talking to someone, and how to talk about your migraines and how to like speak up for yourself and like what you need. And just listening to the other participants that were attending this session, some like I thought I had some intense like migraines and things. And there's so many different types of migraine headache. It's crazy. It is so crazy. I have personally had them since I was formally like diagnosed with migraine when I was 12 years old, so I've had them over half my life, and it's like one of those things where like there's not even like a formal like medication like actually out there like for it. All like the medications like currently used are for something else. And I had to miss days of school, and that was like I had a medication that like worked, but the medication made me so out of it
Same.
that I couldn't function. Like it made me a zombie, absolute zombie. And like even now when I get them less frequent, for example, but they're really bad, like my symptoms have like increased, get like nausea, and like I have to be in like a completely dark space, no like sound, smell sensitive, like that kind of stuff, so like being in like an in-person work environment where like you can't like control when someone's microwaving something that's just gonna like set you off, like set you off or something like that. It's like hard. And thankfully with my team and who I work with, like they're very understanding, when I need to say, hey, I need to like work remote today, or even just when I need to say I need to be off today because of it, because I can't even stare at a screen because I'm seeing dots. but that isn't the case everywhere. And so, and I think it's more so because people don't understand, actually like understand and or like comprehend or I want to say actually truthfully like believe, because until someone even gets like a headache, because not everyone even gets that, which I think is insane.
I know. Yeah. Okay, so I got diagnosed I think I was 16, 17. But I definitely had headaches all my life, but mine got a lot worse after I had a jaw surgery. So that like I was not functioning at school, like couldn't stand the lights because fluorescent lights are literally the worst for all things brain related. And then I was put on a medication that totally knocked them out, but yeah, it totally knocked me out too. And I was like, well, that's stupid because I just go to sleep and ignore the world. So for years now, decades, I haven't really been on anything. Um, but unlike yours, mine have not, they've gotten better in symptoms, but they've gotten worse in frequency. Whereas I will sometimes go 20, 25 to 27 days a month with a headache at the very least, if not a migraine. But because I knew what they were, I realized very early on that my boys also were getting migraines, all a little bit different. One of my sons has, and I really bad, I don't know the name, but like he will get sick to his stomach and usually vomit like before he even gets the headache part of it, which was a pain when he was in school because he'd just be like walking around and all of a sudden he'd be like, what? And they'd be like, oh, you're sick, you have to go home. So he missed a lot of school because that was the first symptom and he didn't have a chance to do anything, before that happened. So yeah, I do a lot of non-prescription things to help my migraine. I don't know what all you do, but I have a collection of at home remedy type things. My husband calls most of them like torture devices, but they're like they help. They're so helpful. So yeah.
Yeah. In the educational session with Miles for Migraine, one of the sessions, it was by one of the MCW, I think faculty. They said that a migraine headache for most people is actually multiple days, and it starts even before like the head symptoms. So technically the start of like your son's migraine starting with like the throwing up, like
Yeah.
it was the start of,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
it lasts until typically like the ending fatigue, or whatever it may be, so it could even last days until after or hours after, like the pain of what's the traditional headache,
Right.
migraine, like type symptom. Like for me, I feel like I get like almost like, I don't know if it's like medication related or just like it like leaving my body. I don't know. Like almost like a euphoric type
Oh.
symptom, like where I kind of all of a sudden have like this like extra energized like feel afterwards. And then that's like kind of usually, especially if I've had like a really bad one, usually it's like with those really, really strong ones. And then that's when I know like, okay, like I've got to feel like maybe like 2 more hours left and I'm gonna like, I'll feel fine now kind of thing. But no, I mean, I kind of know when I need to use, because I have different levels and variants. Like I don't take anything for a headache. Don't even bother. Like it's like a head, like a standard headache, is like, so that, and like, and then I actually have a roll-on thing that
Yep.
I got at a goat farm in a goat farm in Minnesota. And it's somewhere in the house. And I forget what the exact essential oils are, but it is amazing and works extremely well for like what I would call like a standard 1 through 4 level, like pain tolerance kind of effect. And I put it on my temples and it works really well. Or it can help subside some of the pain with like a higher level one. But if I
Do
kind
you
of,
get do you
yeah,
get rebound headaches? Like that's why I usually try to avoid taking anything if I don't have to, because then I just know the next day it's coming back and it's gonna be worse.
no, not usually. No, because I usually end up with a 24 to 36 hour migraine is what it is. So, and then I don't have anything for a couple of days. like at minimum kind of thing. And then I have like which I newly got, and I like the cap.
Oh, I just ordered that. It's
Yeah.
actually a pile
Which
packet.
someone was like, "Oh, you have like the hangover cap." And I was like, "Well, it's a headache cap." But apparently they have seen it or used it before for hangovers. But it's like the icy, like you put it in the freezer and it's like a gel pack, and you just like put it on, and it's because for me, compression helps really well. And then like compression and cold together. Because usually I would use like an icy pack and like just like smash it on. Because my migraines hit one half of my body, and they tend to hit usually on the right hand side, but it goes from my temple down into my shoulder blades. Like temple, jaw, ear, neck, shoulder blades. Those are usually the only things though, because I've tried like other like all natural like there was something that you put under the tongue once before, like
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know what it is,
But I think honestly the Rolly thing, and I've had that for like over a year now, and that's worked really well. But I probably get a migraine at least once a month, roughly once, and like I said, 24 to 36 hours now. But I used to get them more frequent. I probably had them every 1 to 2 weeks, like when they first started. Maybe even more frequent than that initially. And they would be shorter though.
Yeah.
But they've evolved, more symptoms, more all the things. But I also now take a daily medication. I didn't used to do that before either.
Gotcha.
So I definitely think the daily medication has been a game changer.
Have you ever experienced an ocular migraine?
No, I don't think so. With the aura?
Yeah. Mine don't get a huge aura. It's more just the really weird sensation and like blurriness. The first time I got one, I was driving, so that was terrifying.
Oh,
And I had no idea what they were. I'd never heard of them. I didn't. So
yeah.
I was like trying to like Google out of my good eye because it's always just one eye.
Okay.
At least for me. And it says like, they last like 25 to 30 minutes or something around there. And it was like spot on, like 30 minutes. And all of a sudden it was gone. And I was like, that was so bizarre. And I
Yeah.
probably only had like 10 of them my whole life, but I had the first one when I was like 30 something. So it's been like, I don't know, less than 10 years. So
Okay.
those are
Yeah,
like they're freaky. If you're like, am I going blind? Am I having a stroke? Do I need to go to the emergency room? Like nobody like had ever talked about them around me anywhere. So yeah, I think education super important.
Yeah. Yeah. So I ended up interviewing with the Miles for Migraine executive director. We'll take a minute here and play that recording.
Hey, hi, I'm Shirley Kessel. I'm the executive director of Miles for Migraine. I just want to say thank you so much for having me on today. I'm very passionate about our cause. I am also affected by migraine. I have a mother who was severely disabled by migraine when I was growing up. I had to learn to take care of my mom and my 2 other siblings and my very not understanding father. Migraine is a disabling invisible disease, and many people did not quite understand what my mom went through and would be in bed for days vomiting, not able to keep medication down. And that's how I learned how to give her injections when I was only 16, intramuscular injections. And so I inherited migraine, and I've been episodic and chronic over the years. And I have 3 daughters, 2 of which have migraine. One is chronic. The youngest one, when she was in high school, she became very ill and had to drop out of high school. She spent a year in bed and was not able to go back to school, and she had to be homeschooled. And that's how we got into this, because I took her to the doctor at Children's Hospital at Philadelphia, where there's a headache center, and the doctor prescribed her a medication that is used for epilepsy. And I asked her why she was doing that, because I said, that's the same medication I got when I was 25 and also chronic. And the doctor just looked at me and said, this is how we treat migraine. All the drugs that we use are borrowed from other disease classes. And so my daughter looked at me and said, Mom, that's the same medication you got, and you're so old. This is not fair. We have to do something about this. So that's really how I got started at Miles for Migraine.
And then can you tell us a little bit how Miles for Migraine itself got started?
Yeah, so once I went home and after the doctor's appointment, my daughter and I started perusing the internet. And of course, we didn't find anything for anything related to migraine. We were actually looking to see if there was a walk of some kind, a race. And finally, we found one in San Francisco. And Miles for Migraine was started back in 2008 by a nurse by the name of Eileen Jones, who actually went to Capitol Hill back at what we now call Headache on the Hill, which is our day of advocacy on Capitol Hill. And she was told by her member of Congress that there was no more research that was going to be given to the NIH, the National Institute of Health, and that if she wanted to make a difference, she'd have to go back and do it on her own. And so that's how she started the first race. And by the time we got to her, it was 2013. And she said to me, you really can't do this. You have no idea what's involved. And I assured her that I could do it. And guess what? She was right. It was really hard. The first race I ever planned for Miles for Migraine, it was pouring rain. And I thought nobody's going to come, but people still showed up. And it was definitely a day I'll never forget.
So Miles for Migraine has so many different programs. And today we're going to be talking a little bit more about the run walk event that's actually taking place here in Milwaukee on August 10th. But can you briefly go over the other programs that are offered by Miles for Migraine?
Right. Yeah. So the race is really our signature event. It's a 5K, it's a walk, and it's also a relax event, we like to say, because people who have migraines sometimes can't walk or run. So we have a tent there where people can come be part of the festival atmosphere and just relax. It's important for people to come because this is a way for advocacy to be accomplished in this very stigmatized disease that most people don't understand. And that's why we don't just have a walk run. We also offer year-round support for people and their families affected by migraine. So we have educational events. Some are in person, some are virtual. We did have one in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, actually this past year. That's recorded, is on our YouTube channel. We have family programs that support parents and kids affected by migraine, including a group called Teen Talks, which is a program for kids to just be part of. We don't call it a support group because kids don't want to hear that, but they hang out and talk to each other. It's great. We have a mindfulness series that's free. All of our programs and services are free. That's every other Thursday. We have a social series of ongoing programs. We have support groups almost every night of the week virtually. And we also have a very important program called Act Now, which stands for Advocacy Connection Team. And that's a program that teaches fellows who we actually support fellowship programs and patients all about advocacy and why it's important to advocate and have advocacy as part of your treatment plan if you're a patient, because if you don't learn to advocate in the proper way, you are going to continue to be stigmatized by society, even yourself. And so the only way we're going to get real change in this environment of finding a cure for migraine is for everyone to understand why they need to advocate. Those are all of our programs, and they're all free, including our races.
Nice. Yeah, I attended the educational program that was more recently here in Milwaukee, and it was a very nice program, very nice people that were there. And I have to say that the advocacy component was a very nice feature, and nice to hear like how I could advocate for myself and, my appointments and just conversations with people on the day to day, even.
And yeah, it's also important to be part of a community and feel connected with other people. A lot of things we do are in person, or if they're virtual, it's a small number of people. So you can actually connect with people in real time in the virtual setting. And there's research that shows when you're part of a community, you actually have better outcomes.
And then for the Miles for Migraine walk. So that is taking place here again, August 10th. And that is here in the Milwaukee area. And to get involved, participants can sign up online. And as you mentioned, they can run, they can walk. There's a space where they can just chill and hang out if that's, if running or walking is too much for them. There is a fundraising component as well to raise funding. And where does that funding go exactly? So when we're raising these funds, is that locally funded? Is that going nationally? What does that help fund when we're, reaching out and raising funds with our team?
So when you go to register on our website for the walk run, you will have the option to choose either the Medical College of Wisconsin or Miles for Migraine. And what that does, for example, at the Medical College of Wisconsin, MCW, we gave in funding just last year, almost $38,000 to the college. We have awarded around the country now we're supporting 31 fellowship programs, almost $3.4 million. And the reason that's important is because we have a shortage of headache specialists in the country. And so even if you try to go make an appointment anywhere in the country, you're going to find a waiting list. And we need more doctors. And so Miles for Migraine is trying to solve this shortage by sponsoring these fellowship programs and helping the university systems to increase the number of fellowship programs in the country. And on the other hand, if you want to support just Miles for Migraine, your support will keep all of our programs and services free.
That's amazing. And then are there ways that we can get involved with Miles for Migraine?
Oh, absolutely. We love volunteers. Even if you go to our website, there is a place where you can click on volunteer and fill out a form. If you're at the event in August, you'll see there's a QR code you can scan to register. You can just walk up to anyone there that is at the booth and just ask them, hey, I want to be a volunteer. There's so many opportunities, and we really, really rely on our volunteers. I can't stress how much, even if you just want to show up that day, if you are in a school and you have a team of, if you're a high school, for example, and you guys got to get those community hours, just come sign up on our website and you can be a volunteer that day.
Perfect. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I just want to say that really, I feel very passionate about people affected by migraine and their families to understand that the stigma is real and it's pervasive. And if you do feel stigmatized, we can teach you how to be a better advocate for yourself. Sometimes, unfortunately, friends and families are also stigmatizers because they don't understand invisible diseases, but you deserve to be supported. What you're experiencing is real. And if you know someone with migraine, just please believe them. It is the second most disabling disease in the world, according to the World Health Organization.
Well, Shirley, thank you so much for being with us today, and can't wait to have our team, our one-of-a-kind Milwaukee team, be out there supporting Miles for Migraine.
Thank you so much, Angela. I really appreciate the time today.
Well, that was a great interview. It was really cool to hear her story, how she got involved in this great cause. I'm excited to take part in this event and help continue to spread the word. We really hope that we will see some of you join us on August 10th out at Hart Park. You can find the info on our Facebook. We have an event set up. You can join our team and come out and run, walk, or rest with us.
And don't forget to wear purple. Yeah.
I have a few things. I think I'm good there.
So until next time.
Until next time.
Thank you for tuning in to One of a Kind Milwaukee. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did making it. As a small podcast, your support means everything to us.
Seriously.
Please consider subscribing, rating, and leaving a review on your preferred platform.
That's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeartRadio.
And don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss an episode.
We have some exciting topics and guests lined up for the future. Don't forget to check out the show notes for links related to the episodes.
Keep an eye out on our Instagram story for bonus material.
That being said, make sure to follow us on Instagram at oneofakindmke to stay in the loop to learn more about local businesses, events, giveaways, and more.
Thank you again for listening. Until next time, this is Lisa
and Angela, hoping you have a one-of-a-kind week.